Okay, we have some people waiting in the registration because their perception is that we will start late. So they came late. They say in Greece nothing starts on time. But we're gonna surprise you and start on time no matter what. Let them be late. Okay, good morning. My name is Gregory Papanikos. I'm the president of this association, actually, and not an institute, that organizes small events, many parallel events every year and always in Athens. So this year we organized 50 such small events with the participation of more than 2,000 people. Apart from this very important academic thing that we are doing, we will help promote Athens, an historical city, for both education, research, and fun. Now, I'm not doing the official opening. Professor Poulos, our Vice President of Research, follows me and will do the opening remarks. But I like to say out of my hand a few things, since I don't have notes. They never give me notes. And a few things about our institute, and then I'll give the floor to Professor Poulos. Now, first of all, we are not an institute. We are an association. The reason that we call it an institute is just in case that our members want to apply for some research and funding. An institute sounds better than an association. Second, we are not a Greek association, but we are a world association of academics and researchers that is based in Athens, Greece. Less than 10% of our members come from or reside in Athens, in Greece, and all of them, they have long experiences outside Athens. So just to repeat that we're a world association of academics, and you are more than welcome to join us. That's why I'm saying it. And actually, the last 2 years, we tried to de-Hellenize, to get all the Greek family names out of our boards and heads. So if you don't have a Greek name, a Greek family name, still you can have a Greek blood, then you can join us, and if you like what we are doing by the end of the second day, please join us and help us with what we are doing. Of course, since nobody reads the policies, even myself, just want to mention that for us what is important is not your presentation per se, but your participation. So we don't really care about 15 minutes that you want to impress the world, but we do care that as a group that comes from many different countries, you participate in all activities, at least to the sessions. Now, some people, they want to come, present, and leave, but this is the worst type of participant that we can have. We don't really like it. And especially if you're a young, a PhD scholar, a PhD student, or a recent PhD student, early career academic, and you do that, I don't think you benefit from the 300 euro that you paid. You made the worst possible investment. Now, 99% of the people that participate to our conference like what we are doing. And of course, we have complaints, some of them valid. Please let us know by the end of the conference how we can improve. Since we are not perfectionists, we are improving. Now, we organize good events, but we don't do good job in terms of publication, even though there are exceptions. Now, we can improve there as well. This year, as Professor Poulos will explain, we started some e-journals. Still, some of them, we might have some good journals coming out in all fields. But again, this depends very much upon the quality of the papers, and I'll tell you the truth, since if someone has a good paper here, usually they don't send it to us, unfortunately. Now, there is good reason for that. So if you have an American Economic Review paper, I mean, you come here, you enjoy yourself, you don't send it. Now, we try to get the good papers not being published as part of a book, which we do it, or as part of the Athens series, but published it in a journal, in addition to that. Then, this will create an incentive, starting even from this year, we know it in other conferences, an incentive to send your paper, because you know we'll be together with some other good papers in a journal to be there for the entire. So that means that we need your help, especially the senior guys, the senior academics, to review papers, and not like the senior academics that they give the papers to research assistants to do the review. Now, sometimes we can tell that if it happens. So if you really genuinely want to help us, please do so. Now, we have here the academics responsible for the conference, Professor Bordon, a non-Greek family name, and Professor Veloutso, is it Greek? No, I don't think. Is it Greek name?
Very Greek name, yeah.
No, Vel. I think it's a Roman something. We can sell it as well. Professor Veloutso is here. They're going to be around most of the time. Professor Bordon chairs the first session. And of course, the most important event, the Greek night, they will be there. So you can discuss with them if you have any ideas about possible collaboration. Now, to see how this builds, we do have a collaboration with the University of Stirling, and we do finance good master students that they know a little bit about Greece to do their PhD program there. So we have good students. We can pay for 3 years for their research assistants to do management, marketing, economics, according to the priorities that the University of Stirling sets in their graduate program. All we do is we give them the money. So that's another opportunity if you want to discuss with Professor Bordon, because we do this program together. If you have master students that they are good from all over the world, please let us know, and so we can give you more information. Now, finally, about the language, the best English accent, as I always say, is my accent. And of course, if you cannot imitate, it's your problem. And I'm saying that because we have people here that come from many different countries, and fortunately, English is not their first language, so they know something more than that. But don't be intimidated if you don't speak English very well. If you don't understand the English accent, it's their fault, it's not your fault. Still, you can have the discussion at the end, outside, to have a lot of activities and events taking place, so you have the opportunity to speak in English with other people without being scared that you will be, embarrass yourself. Just see me. Now, to see how the association works, we have 4 vice presidents, one from South Africa, you will see now the accent, one is from California, the other is from Singapore, and the other is from Texas. So you will see their internationality. Professor Poulos, I talked too much. You have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Panicos. Well, on behalf of the Athens Institute for Education and Research, Atiner in short, I'd like to welcome you to this conference. Just a few words on the Institute itself. The Institute was established in 1995, and its mission has been to act as a forum where academics and researchers from all over the world can come together to this historic cradle of democracy, Athens, in order to exchange ideas on their research, interact with each other, and to discuss future developments in their disciplines. Basic activities of Atiner include the organizing and hosting of international conferences such as this one, as well as symposiums, the carrying out of research, and the production of various publications. And since 1995, Atiner has organized more than 350 international conferences and other events, and has published close to 150 books. Atiner has also organized numerous roundtable discussions and public speeches on topical issues. The Institute is also currently involved in an ambitious project regarding the proposed establishment of an academic village. The aim is to establish a community of research scholars and academics such as yourselves. And the proposed village will include a conference center, living facilities, as well as facilities for research and recreation. And you'll find more information on this in the green paper in your file. Now, turning to today's formal activities. You should each have a program by now. Please note, and this is important, that each presentation is limited to 15 minutes. The chairpersons will keep time and will use 3 and 1 minute reminder cards. I'd also like to ask the chairs to adhere strictly to the time constraints, and please allow for questions and discussions after all the papers have been presented and not after each paper. The chairpersons must also fill out the report forms that they'll be receiving, and this is important because the final program will be based on the chairperson's reports. Should you need to make use of technical facilities in your presentation, please confirm that everything is in order before the session begins. And there will always be someone from the admin staff to help you in this regard. I see Marisa and Costa at the back there, and you'll always be able to speak to them before the session. And note also that there will be a coffee break between sessions, a 10-minute coffee break, at least where you can continue with your discussion. Well, then you can look at the social program, which is red in color in your file. The Greek night tonight is to be recommended. Apart from Greek cuisine, there'll be lots of Greek dancing and music, and of course you can join in with the dancing if you like. There's also the urban walk tomorrow. The person in charge of that will be Dr. Gregory Katsas, who's very knowledgeable on the archaeological sites here in Athens. And then follows the cruise to selected islands and the visit to the ancient site of Delphi. Now, few points on publications. Dr. Papanikos has already referred to this. Just in general, the Institute is involved in various publications. Firstly, there are the abstracts which are published. Now, there are some institutes that require abstract publications, and we're aware of this, and that is why we actually refer to these as publications as well. Secondly, the papers that are presented are placed on the web as part of an online paper series soon after the conference, and these have their own ISSN number. They are not peer-reviewed, but they can of course be cited, which is of course very important for researchers. The purpose of this publication series is to firstly disseminate the information in the paper as quickly as possible, and secondly to allow for feedback from your peers in case you wish to make amendments before submitting your paper for publication in a book. With regard to book publications, you'll receive an email soon after the conference asking you for a final draft for publication consideration and any other information that you may require, and that may be relevant as well. All papers that are submitted will go through a referee process before they will be considered for publication in a book. And then, as Dr. Papanikos mentioned earlier, we have our own journal series now, which commenced at the beginning of this year. These journals include papers which are considered to be outstanding in content and which are selected and peer-reviewed by an editorial board, and we would encourage you to take this into consideration as well as far as publication is concerned. Just one point about the online paper series. If you do not wish to have your paper put online at the moment, you can tell us so, and we can hold on to it until such time if you've made any amendments or any modifications, and then we'll put it on the site if you would like us to do so. Then, a few points on collaboration. We at Atiner would like to collaborate with other institutions, such as the ones that you come from, and academics and researchers and institutes are invited to collaborate with our Institute on Research and Education projects. If you are interested in starting a project, please let us know. If you'd like to have our collaboration, we'd be interested to hear from you. We can get the ball rolling. We can organize sessions at conferences. We can organize a mini conference, and we can help, for example, to invite people who are specialists in the field to join in with this project as well. So we'd like to hear from you as far as that is concerned. If you're not yet a member of the Institute, we'd like you to join, as we would like to also have extra people to review and edit papers. And if you feel that you can be in a position to do this, please let us know and we'll add you to the list. And then part of our vision is to also organize fellowships, and we're now in the process of discussing this. Well, I'm not going to say very much more. As you can see, colleagues come from so many different countries, and we at Atiner sincerely hope that you'll make the most of this opportunity to interact with each other, that you'll enjoy this conference, that you'll go back home with fond memories, and most of all, that you'll want to come back to future conferences. I'd like to hand over now to Professor Bolton, and then if Professor Veluzzi would like to say a few words as well. I'll leave everything in her hands. Thank you very much, and enjoy the conference. Thank you.
Will you speak first, Sharon, or should I? You. Me? Okay, I have nothing to say. I think that Dr. Guido said everything that we need to know. I want just to welcome you as the head of the Marketing Research Unit, and I hope that we have two enjoyable days. See you in the end of the conference. I'm chairing the last session. And tonight.
I'd also like to welcome you, but I'm chairing first session, so I was on the starter marks to do that. And I'd like to follow up through that the principle of getting academics together in a big, global, intellectual melting pot. That's the principle of everybody being here. And so you're very, very welcome. And I hope that you'll enjoy the papers, and I hope you'll enjoy the discussion in the sessions. But as you know, at many of these conferences, the discussions around coffee, lunch, the dinner tonight are equally as important. So I hope to see and meet many of you out with the sessions over the next couple of days. So enjoy. So straight into the first.
Yeah, I think to make sure that all the pathways are